Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing all right. Has anyone else been getting absolutely battered today by hay fever? I've been on death's door. Honestly, it's been an absolute joke. Let us know in the comments how you've been getting on with hay fever, and let us know what's going on with everything else. I've seen loads of talk today about Chelsea supposedly doing something a little bit nefarious involving Saudi Arabia, but I haven't had a chance to look into it yet, so I'm not going to comment on that specifically. So let us know what the script is. Good evening. Ruben Neves, I've seen that one. 55 million supposedly Saudi Arabia. And you can't. Here's the thing, right? Name me a team in Saudi Arabia. Can't. Don't know any of them. So a team in Saudi Arabia has paid 55 million for Ruben Neves. Going to be really, really interesting to see what long-term impact this has, because this is a mad one. This is a bit like when Oscar went to China, and apparently he's still there. Crazy move that is on his part. It's a real shame because I'd love to have seen him in a United shirt, but he's the youngest one that I've seen that's good, that's going over there to Saudi Arabia. And from what I know, it's I think I'm going to do a video on Saudi Arabia this week, to be honest with you. From what I know, it's literally like a centralized pot, and the Saudi Arabian fund is just buying everyone and then allocating them a team like some sort of fucking crazy NFL draft sort of thing. Bananas. So yeah, I'll probably do a video looking into that when I get a little bit of a chance this week. But let's go and talk about what we're here to talk about today. So United's quest to bolster the defence seems to have taken a bit of a twist. We saw over the last 24, 48 hours that Kim Min-jae has all but signed for Bayern Munich. And they're waiting on United's second bid, or a bid from United, which may or may not never arrive. The United interest might have been entirely manufactured by me, semi-accidentally. So I don't know if it's even legit. I don't know if the links that are linking Kim Min-jae to United are actually serious or not. Seems like he's very likely to go to Bayern Munich. And if he is, I'm sure he'll have a great career there because he's a hell of a defender. And I think United have missed out on someone that would have been absolutely fantastic for us. Whether or not our bid was real, I don't fucking know. So he's off to Bayern Munich, which means that United, if we were in for him, need to find a plan B. So, and we also probably need to move Maguire on as well. Kevin said a pollen bomb went off today. Is that an actual term? Is that going to get the video demonetized? But yeah, unbelievable the state of me today at times. Yeah. Brian says, possible that Bayern weren't waiting for the release clause to kick in. Maybe. Could be that one. So Romano's reported basically that, Bayern Munich are essentially front runners and fully expected to go and sign for them. The 50 million euro release clause comes active in July. I guess they've agreed a fee now to maybe not let it get to that release clause, which I guess suits both Bayern Munich and Napoli. Must be great having a forward-thinking front office that wants to get things done. But it does seem that United are appearing to be in for Disasi. Now, I've done a scout report on Disasi, so I'll leave all of the description to the scout report of him. And he's said to be eager to move to United. He has been good at Monaco. I don't think he's been quite as good as Kim Min-jae. In fact, he hasn't been as good as Kim Min-jae, but he's been good. And apparently he's only one step away now from joining United. Is the step agreeing a fee? Because it's a pretty big step in it, to be honest. Nothing's happened yet, but Romano reckons that this one's on the cards. He goes, they've had contact on the player side. So I guess we will have to wait and see how that's going. Have I seen Black Mirror Season 6? I've not. Did I get my car back? No, I didn't. And I'm still carless. I've been paid out on the car, but I haven't been paid out on the contents. And they're being absolute dicks about the contents. I don't think I'm going to get paid out on the contents. So I'm a few grand down. Not happy. Anthony Jarvis says, Steve Southgate talking all about the England lads tapping each other up is quite funny. That's got to be unintentional because Gareth Southgate's never said anything funny. Anyway, back on Disasi, Romano said, from what I'm told, the player would be excited to make a move to United. It was recently suggested in L'Equipe that he did have his sights set on joining United, and there's also been interest reported from City and from Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea are going to be linked with everyone at the moment because of the way their transfers are working. You got to link them to everyone because they actually might be in for everybody. But Romano says, this is happening, and it looks like the chances of him wearing red next season are beginning to be quite high. He says Disasi remains a concrete name in the list at United in the case Kim Min-jae will end up joining Bayern. And they also sent their scouts to go and watch Jean-Clair Todibo. So no decision has been made yet. So it's a bit of a shame that, excuse me, lads, don't even open. Transfer window's actually open, and we're back in pre-season, probably in less than 2 weeks. Do you think you might maybe want to actually make some decisions on who we're signing? Now, I'm not of the opinion that the uncertainty over the owners means we won't spend anything. I think the uncertainty over the ownership might mean that we don't spend as much as we should have done. But I still think we'll have, a probably fairly modest budget plus sales that we can roll with. I don't think it'll just be like, no, you can't sign anyone because we're selling up. I really don't think it will be that. But I don't think it'll be the Friday night, just got paid, let's have it, see you in a kebab shop later sort of vibe that it could be. L'Equipe are also saying that United are probably going to wait for one of the right-sided centre-halves, possibly Bailey or Lindelof, to depart before going up a gear in their quest. It's L'Equipe saying Lindelof, not me. And they also report that Napoli, Juventus, and 2 German clubs, including Dortmund, are keeping tabs on Todibo. So, bit of a tumultuous stint in Spain. Todibo did retrace his steps back to France to sort of reignite his footballing career. Moved to Nice in 2021. It was a little bit of a turning point for him. And then he's had a bit of a resurgence in his career. And I think in spite of the interest in Disasi, which I think is real, and Todibo, who we'll probably end up doing a scout report on if this continues, I think the likelihood of any move hinges on Harry Maguire. I think Harry Maguire's got to figure out where he's going first and foremost. And have Saudi Arabia actually come in for Harry Maguire yet? It's a big interesting one, isn't it? Ricardo says, who's going to have more signings this summer, Chelsea or the Saudi League? Definitely the Saudi League. The Saudi League are doing what I believe the kids call a madness. Iron says, why not go for Maddison, who is better and will cost more less than Mount. More less than Mount? I think Mount's got a bit more versatility to his game that would suit what we're looking for. He could definitely play as an 8. Not sure that Maddison could. Kieran says, I think we could be doing something similar to last summer when we bought Malacia and Leacher after seeing what fees had been agreed with other clubs. Takes away the United tax. That's a good point. Think about this, right? There was such a feeling that Martinez was going to Arsenal at the start of the season. Could he have helped push Arsenal over the line if they'd have got that deal completed? Mad that, innit? Alex says, Steve, you need to start a campaign for Maguire to Saudi. I'm a fucking busy man, mate. And I also don't know if that's got any legs with me starting it. But yeah, I'm sure. Look at who they're buying, man. If they had the opportunity to get him, they'll be getting him. Sorry, just had to clear my ears. The pressure in my head at the moment with this hay fever is just ridiculous. Why was Harry Maguire England captain versus Malta? Who fucking cares, realistically? Anthony says, check your home insurance to see if you're covered for the stuff in your car. Sometimes it will. It will, but it was business stuff. It was cameras and that. Like, it was literally business stuff, but they're being dicks about it. So we will see. I also don't know if I've left it too late to speak to these now, even though, I notified my insurance company immediately as it happened. But if they pie me and say, "Oh, you're not covered," then you go back to someone like 2.5, 3 months later. Piss take. No news regarding United movements at all. There does actually. Do you know what? There was something I saw on Twitter before. Let me just try and find it. This is an interesting one. So it says Ten Hag is willing to sanction a 1-year loan for Ahmad to return to Atalanta as a deal maker for Rasmus Højlund to join United. Now that is something that I can definitely see happening. Grobe says, "What happened to your car?" It got fucking robbed, mate, from outside my house with one of the electronic key finder fellas. Bastards. Would I rather mount Lavia or Rice by himself? I'm not sure, actually. It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Brian says, still wondering on De Gea. Too much to handle with him to go. I think there's a realistic chance that De Gea does go to Saudi Arabia. I think that you might see that, in all honesty. Be interesting. Didn't it happen like 3 months ago? April 10th or 9th. 9th or 10th it was. 10th, I think it was. April 10th. So yeah, 2 months ago. Still not sorted. And I still haven't sorted out a new car yet either. Although, I have got my eye on one. I've got the opportunity to go and see it on Friday, but I don't think it's in fucking Swansea, and I don't think I can get to Swansea. Hey, do you know what? Let's do a back and forward a little bit, right? So, it's on finance. It was a lease. So, I just don't know the legitimacy of the company that I'm getting a lease off. It's not a brand. It's not like a national brand that I've seen. Got to pay a deposit and then obviously monthly. I will do some checks into it, but if it's not as much as, like, if the car comes or doesn't come on the agreed date, because I'll be doing this like remote, am I covered? How am I covered with that? Airborne Fighter says they used a flipper with custom firmware to take the car. I don't know what that means, but yes, that sounds like something that they did. I am going to be getting an RFID pouch for the new one. I'm also not going to be parking. So here's what I used to do. I used to park it in front of the front window. Now, glass, it's a stone house, right? So actually, signals coming through the house, especially when there's a couple of walls in the way, doesn't happen. But when you kind of defeat that, because my keys was near my window, now I'm going to fuck the keys off into one of the back rooms, and I'm going to park the car in a different spot away. So there'll be like several stone walls in between. Now, I will have an RFID blocking case for that, but I also don't think it'll necessarily need one, because I don't think you'll get signal all the way out in the back. Is the new one on a PCP agreement? I don't fucking know. James says most stolen car is the range. It's one of those, isn't it? Miles says, it makes you feel better. I'm almost a year out from an accident and the other party at fault and the insurance is still fighting about paying. Oh, it's a fucking nightmare, isn't it? Here, do you know what? This is what blew my fucking mind with my insurance. This is so funny, right? So my car gets nicked and I ring up the insurance and they say, yeah, we'll get you paid out as soon as we've had an engineer come and visit you. And I said, right, okay. And then 3 seconds later, I went, hang on, why is an engineer coming to visit me? Oh, to come and assess your loss. How did they assess a stolen car, mate? Did they look where I say I parked it and go, yeah, you can fit a car there, yeah? And they also said that they wasn't going to be saying that engineer couldn't come out for 4 weeks. So I wasn't going to get paid out for a month to go be able to buy a new car because the engineer wasn't going to come out to see where the stolen car wasn't for a month because they were busy. And someone had a common sense eruption and decided, yeah, that's how it's fucking worked, isn't it? What car am I looking at this time? I'm looking at a black on black new Defender. Is what I'm looking at. 110, sort of 5-door fella. That's what I'm looking at this time. It's going to be locally known as Steve's IRL Mobile because we want to be doing a lot more content on the IRL channel. And coincidentally, there is a new video out. If you've not seen it, go check it out. Is the insurance company with the dog named after a former prime minister? Yeah, they paid out. It's the ones that sounds like an axe. Ah, that hasn't yet paid out. Anthony says, all you have to do is look up the company financial conduct authority register. Okay, so look at that. Abhinav says a car that can't be stolen. I think, here's the thing, right? I think with all of these things, like, even burglaries, like, if people want to get in your fucking house, they're getting in your fucking house, aren't they? As sad as that is. Ryan says I got rear-ended last April, and the claim still isn't settled. Fucking hell. How's that fucking 14 month on? It's an absolute joke, isn't it? Isn't there some sort of like insurance company guidelines? Callum says I'd recommend a smart car. It'd be nice and spacious. You know, fucking ridiculous. I'd look in a smart car. Also, just I got too much shit. Grove says I'm looking at buying my first car. Got any recommendations? Like, look, you're not going to want to hear this because you want to go and buy something that justifies how much you're going to spend for it. My son's 16 in a month. Actually, less than that, it's a few weeks. 17 in a few weeks. And he's doing driving lessons. And he's been looking at my wife's old car because he knows the registration of it before she got her new one, which was a Fiesta. And he's thinking, well, something like that. It's a sensible little small car. How much would that cost to insure? It was £4,300. So he's like, what the fuck? I'm going to be paying like 400 quid a month out for a car that I don't even really want just to insure it. And I was like, yep, you're going to be paying out your ass for insurance. It's a fucking absolute scam, man. Jay says, I settled my claim in November, not at fault, and they kept my excess. Fuck me. Fucking Christ, innit? Alex says, all this car talk makes me nervous. Got my test tomorrow at 7:50. Well, 1, best of luck. Is that your first test? 2, 7:50. Is that morning? 7:50 in the morning is no time to be doing a driving license test, is it? Because you're going to be on the rush hour with everybody at work and probably a little bit tired yourself getting up. That's a fucking horrible one. Alex says, stick an Apple AirTag in the car, then at least it can be tracked. I was thinking about doing that, in all honesty. I was thinking about doing that. Aaron says, get one of the disc locks for the steering wheel. Not ideal, but you're able to relax when the car's outside. I would have said that, but I've seen too many videos or reels on Instagram of people with the disc lock and with some of the other stuff where they've just ripped it off. Like, just gone boom and just fucking yanked it off. Not even a slow down a little bit. Brian says, can I put myself as named driver? Oh, me just had a fucking Range Rover stolen 2 months ago. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to bring his premiums fucking right down, isn't it? Fucking hell, you kidding me? My insurance is going up the fucking wall. My missus is doubled because of that happening. Her renewal was about 4 weeks after my car got stolen, and she was like, yeah, mine's just fucking doubled. Nice one. Nightmare. James says, probably the worst time to be a first-time driver. Second-hand car market's gone nuts. I've seen 1997 Corsas going for £2.5 grand. Really? Fucking hell. Ion says, how are my calves fixing up? Uh, I don't know. In the grand scheme of things. So everyone that's aware, I did 457 kilometers. We did a video about it. That's on the IRL channel in October and November. And I lost about £60 doing that. I actually didn't bottom out until we was in Qatar for the World Cup because we were just fucking walking miles every single day. So we'd gone. I'd gone on a real fucking weight loss journey, and I was running for the first couple of weeks every day that I was in Qatar, and then I pulled my calf. So I had an operation back in June last year, bilateral compartment syndrome fasciotomy. Basically means both legs. And I had that done in June last year, and then I got to doing a load of hiking, and I was trying to run, and I kept pulling my calf, and then I try and run again, and I was pulling my soleus, and the soleus is kind of not the big fat calf muscle, the really like gadoosh one, but it's the one that goes from your knee to your Achilles. So it's a dead thin one, and it's one that doesn't take much for it to be pulled. And when it goes from going from being sedentary to like overuse or just overuse. So I was an absolute classic case of just pulling my soleus, and it was pulling it all the fucking time. And then after the amount of walking I was doing in Qatar in conjunction with the 457 that I did back in October, November, basically, I developed plantar fasciitis, which meant that December I couldn't fucking walk, and I pulled my calf in Qatar, so I stopped running, thinking that my feet are hurting because I've been running. That's what I was thinking. I was walking, so my feet were hurting, so I was like, well, obviously they hurt. And then I was running, so my feet was hurting, and then I'm like, okay, I've now stopped running, and my feet still hurt, and they hurt all the way through in December, and then even into January, and I was like, I was having to hold the wall getting up in the morning. I couldn't put any weight down on my feet, and I'm like, right, this ain't right. So I went and went to the doctors, got an injection in one, and I haven't had the injection in the other one yet. I need to have both. Once I have the other one in, I can get running again. We took the football team up to the top of Mamtor yesterday, 6 mile loop, a mile high in height climb. So if you do the maths, obviously it's 1 mile up in 3 miles, so it's pretty tasty. And then obviously down again, and then went and had a pub lunch afterwards. And it was good, nice little day out. Feet are a little bit sore today with it though. So I really need to build up the strength back in my feet. I've been doing mobility every single day. I've been doing cold exposure, and I haven't ran. I've ran probably, I would say, less than 20 times this year because of the plantar fasciitis. So I want to get picking back up for that. I'm starting a new course with my trainer tomorrow, where the goal at the end of that is to run a 5K. So that's what I'm aiming to do. Hopefully, get the other injection within a week or two, and then get it boxed off. Ash says, so they didn't find the stolen car. No, they didn't. They found my number plates on the street next door, which means someone cracked it over. Brian Kevill with a email there says, email Stretford Paddock regarding an Irish pre-season friendly before the weekend. Hope you received it. I don't check the Paddock emails over the weekend. I'll check it tomorrow when I get in, but thank you. We'll get you a reply either way. I think we might have already fixed one, unless that's the one that we've fixed. KC says, cloud-linked dash cams help, by the way. Uploads miscreants' faces to internet. Car's still nicked, but it helps GPS too, unless they throw it out the window. That's a shout. I was thinking about getting a... I was thinking, should we put someone on fucking blast here right now? Let me know in the chat, shall we? Yes or no, and I'll have a think about it. Basically, I had a 1 series, and my 1 series got written off. And I say we'll put someone on blast because it's a company, and the guys, the guy hit me in his company van, which is his company. It had his name. I think he's a kitchen fitter. He had his name on the back of his van. And here's what happened. I personally believe he was texting. I'm driving down the road. The guys come right across. There's a bit of a bend like this in the road, and the guys come right across the bend, mounted the curb on the other side, and then I think he's corrected like that. But as he's corrected, I've shit it, seeing this van coming towards me on my side of the road. I've swerved in towards the centre of the road a little bit, and that's where I've stopped, and he's hit me while I've been stopped. I've jumped out of the car, and as you can imagine, very, very calm. I've lost my fucking napper with him. I've screamed at him and swore at him like, what the fucking hell are you doing? You're not fucking paying attention, you fucking prick, this, that and the other. He got out of the car, immediately apologised, go, yeah, sorry, blah, 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 blah. Completely admits fault. We drive round the corner, because I'm literally live round the corner. We drive round the corner. He gives me his details. He admits fault completely at the scene, this, that and the other. As soon as it comes through his insurance, he's denying all responsibility, saying that I fucking swerved over and hit him and this, that and the other. And despite the fact that the photos show my car at a mad angle, it's on fucking his side of the road. So he's absolutely had me fucking pants down. And I rang him because his fucking name was on the van bonnet. I said, why are you fucking lying to the insurance company, you cunt? And he just put the phone down on me. And I haven't done anything to him yet. But I'm annoyed at that because I lost my no claims on that fucking bastard. This was about 3 years ago. And then since then, I've had fucking all sorts of claims of people robbing it and this, that and the other. So my insurance is going up the fucking wall, mate. KC said someone reversed into my car at a road and a dash cam saved me. Do you know what? Did a disc lock, steering locks actually work, or can you just yank them off? Because I've seen people yank them off. Because that might be worth the move. Otherwise, I'm thinking dash cam, get someone's face, and fucking disc lock. And either AirTag or a tracker. Trackers aren't actually that much, are they? How much is a tracker? Less than my fucking insurance, isn't it? Ash says he's been told by his own insurance to give this side of the story. Yeah, I'm sure. It's a fucking joke though, innit? Absolutely livid. Anthony says, I got hit on a roundabout. He tried to drive off. 5 police cars turned up, and after 5 months, they said they lost all the notes, so it went 50-50. Fucking hell. Airborne Fighter says you can 100% yank them off. See, so what the fuck am I looking at that then? Ghost Immobile. Someone else has just put out Ghost Tracker, Ghost Immobile. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to Google them while we're here now. Well, I'm going to do that bit of reading later. Saul says, Whoop has gone down. Hang on 1 sec. Whoop has gone down to 16 a month now, Steve. Great price that. Any new videos with Whoop coming? Really enjoyed the last one. Yep, there's one going to be in August. There's one on the IRL channel right now if you want to go check that out. But yep, that's worth looking into. Gabrielle says Antonio Silva is the rear. Mancolorian says if you're smart enough, hide the cam. You get insurance plans with a tracker, they're cheaper, but you have to drive like a granny. I'm not having a black box. That can fuck off. I was talking about that today with my lad saying that he's probably going to need to do something like that. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Have I seen the latest Swedish Rumble thread on the takeover? No, I've not. Aaron says Ghost Immobilize where you have to open the window 3 times or something before the car starts. Oh, like a fucking secret handshake. Yeah, I fucking like that. That's a great idea. Oh, Matt Healy says Ghost Immobilizer has been hacked. You need to get a Pandora. No, you need to get a Pandora Immobilizer. Fuck's sake. Or people could just stop robbing your shit. How about that? That's a good idea, isn't it? Notch says, my Whoop has arrived. Just set it up. Wonder if my account will switch to the lower price monthly. Oh, probably fucking not. Give us a Pickford growl. You got to watch the video to know where that comes from. Reza says, what are the CEO and director of football doing? Didn't we have a plan for the summer? Looks like Chelsea are looking at the same player and trying to sell Mount for 60+ million. Might just be a waiting game. Matt says, steering wheel locks are worth it just as a deterrent. Put a cheap disc lock on with a cover so they can't see the make or type. Would be a good deterrent at least. Do you know what the problem with that is? I'm fucking lazy, right? And I'm in and out my car all the fucking time. So I'm so gonna fuck myself up by not putting it on. Anyways, I think we've chatted enough. I'm going to be live again in the morning, so we can resume this shit back in the morning if everyone's good with that. Next transfer review is when? It'll be Saturday, I think. Should be Saturday. But cheers for tuning in, as always. I think it was more about insurance than transfers in the end there, but it is what it is. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, get any questions in, and I'll see you lot in the morning for another live. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.